Hello students, welcome. We will see the second chapter, that is the Visual Basic Language, Operators, Conditionals and Loops. First of all, Visual Basic Statements. A Visual Basic Statement is a complete instruction. So it can contain keywords. Keyword means words reserved for Visual Basics use. So already you have seen keywords in C like printf, scanf or main, and so many keywords, int, so many keywords are there like that. Keywords in this Visual Basic .NET, that is words reserved for Visual Basics use. So Visual Basic statement may contain a keyword or operator. Operators, symbols used to perform operations like plus, minus. So this plus performs addition operation, and minus performs subtraction operations, and division, multiplication and so on. So and one more is variable. Variable is a symbolic names. Variables are symbolic names given to values stored in a memory and declared with the dim keyword. For example, if you have declared a variable named temperature as an integer type, you can store integer values like 72 or 83 in it. Okay, already you know you have used variables. So here in VB.NET we declare the variables using dim keyword. Okay, so like that, literal values are simple values, and constants same as variables, except that constants are assigned a value that cannot be altered. Okay, and expressions, combination of all terms, keywords that yield a value. For example, if the variable temperature holds the value 72, then expression temperature plus 3 yields the value 75. So expressions, that means using operators, the expressions are for example, a equal to b plus c is an expression. So here also the temperature equal to temperature plus 3, it will yield the value 75. Okay, so the Visual Basic statements may contain all these keywords, operators or variables, literal values, constants and expressions. So what is a Visual Basic statement? Visual Basic statement is a complete instruction. Okay, so for example, here is a piece of code, dim bank balance as single equal to 500. Okay, dim, using dim we declare the variable or a constant. So here bank balance is a constant and value assigned, that is 500. So we are checking if bank balance is less than 0, then dim str error as string. So we are again we are declaring str error is a type string. Okay, so here, and initialize this str error equal to your bank balance is negative, and System.Console.WriteLine str error. So what is this System.Console.WriteLine? Is simply printf statement. Okay, so what is this? So these are here from if, see the dim bank balance as single is a statement. Okay, and if to end if is a block of statements. So here also dim str error as string is a statement, and str error equal to your bank balance is a assignment statement. So it is a complete instruction. Okay, a statement is a instruction. Here also in this piece of code we have so many statements, that is a dim bank balance as a single, or this dim str error as string, str error equal to the assigned string, and System.Console.WriteLine is also a statement. Okay, so you can also break long statements up over several lines if you want. So see here, for example, dim temperature as integer, and you are initializing. So here declaring the temperature using dim for dimension, dim temperature as integer, temperature equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, but you are dividing this long sentence, long statement. Okay, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3, that underscore, and in next line plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 underscore, in next line plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Okay, so next one, System.Console.WriteLine. This is a very long sentence that so how to divide a long string. So here this is a string, this is a very long sentence that I want to display to the user, but divided into two statements. That is how to divide this long string, that is using underscore, and one more, there is a ampersand, that is called concatenation operation. Okay, concatenation operation is ampersand or plus symbol. Okay, so now the syntax of statement, that is within this curly braces, public, protected, friend, private, static, and read only, dim, name as, type. So these are optional, read only or public, protected up to static, it is optional, and these are all object oriented concepts already you have studied in C++. First one is, you can use either public or protected or friend or private or static to the name of the variable. So you can declare a variable as public or protected or friend or private or static or read only. Okay, so what is this public? These are all object oriented concepts, and your VB.NET is highly object oriented. Public, you know already, gives a variable public access, which means there are no restrictions on their accessibility. So it is the public variable gives access to public access. Okay, and next one, protected means it gives a gives variables protected access, which means they are accessible only from within their own class or from a class derived from that class. That means parent or child class. So these protected variables are used in a class or its child classes. And one more, it is friend. It gives a variable friend access, which means they are accessible from within the program that contains their declaration as well as anywhere else in the same assembly. So this friend variables can be accessed in the throughout the program. Okay, and private, it gives variables a private access, which means they are accessible only from within their declaration context, including any nested procedures. And okay, and these private variables are accessed only within the declaration context or in the nested procedures within the open and close brackets. Okay, and one more, the read only means the variable only can be read and not written. Okay, you can't edit there, the variable is only for reading purpose. And what next is name. See, the read only, dim, name as, type. See the syntax, read only and dim, name as, type. So dim should be there, and name is the variable name, and variable name, you separate multiple variables by commas. And next one, dim, name as, type. So here name is variable name, and type is the data type, data type of variable. And here VB.NET offers the wide range of data types, that is boolean, byte, char, date, decimal, double, integer, long, object type, short, single or string, structure, class or interface. Okay, all these data types you can use in VB.NET programming. Okay, so next one, the option and input statements. This is a very important thing. Option statements, so you use these option statements to set the ground rules for your coding. So it helps to prevent syntax and logic errors. To avoid some possible syntax and logic errors, we should use these option statements. So there are three option statements, that is the option explicit, option compare and option strict. Okay, so what is this option explicit? You can set it to on or off. Okay, is set to on or off. On is default and it requires declaration of all variables before they are used. Okay, if you set it to on, if you set this option explicit on, it requires declaration of all variables before they are used. Okay, otherwise it will raise an error. So next one, option compare, it's set to binary or text. Okay, the option compare, you can set it to binary or text. This specifies if strings are compared using binary or text comparison operations. So here for this option compare is to compare two strings, and strings can be compared using binary comparison operation or text comparison operation. So this binary comparison operation and text comparison operations are algorithms. Binary comparison operation is using the ASCII code of the string to be compared, and text comparison operation also an algorithm of comparison type. Okay, and one more is option strict. Set it to on or off. Off is default. When you assign a value of one type to a variable to another type, Visual Basic will consider it as error. Okay, for example, if you declare a variable as integer and give you initialize that integer with the string, so it will raise an error. Okay, if this option strict is on, then this will raise an error. So these are all three option statements: option explicit, option compare, option strict. And option explicit to check whether variables are declared or not before they are used. Option compare is to compare strings, and option strict to avoid the possible errors when you assign value of one type to other type of variable. Okay, so here by setting option statements on, you tighten the compiler's code construction process. That means the option statements, setting the option statement on is that setting the compiler to continuous background checking. So whenever you write a statement, VB waits for you to finish coding and checks the code. It may take few seconds to finish its work, so it may be irritating also. So to avoid it, you can set all the option statements to off and first write the code and then compile for any error. Okay, so setting the option statements on means you are tightening the compiler's construction process. That means when you write the code, it will check each sentence whether there is any syntax error. So it will take some time. Okay, it will take few seconds to check it, so it will be irritating while coding. It will be irritating. So one thing you can do is you can set all the option statements off, and first you write the code, then you can compile the program for any error. Okay, this is how to write option statement. See here, the option strict off. Okay, and the code, before writing the code, first of all you will have to set the option statements. That is option strict of System.Console.WriteLine hello from Visual Basic. Okay, this is an example. So next one, import statements. So you use import statements to import a namespace. So in namespace already you have seen in the last video using import statements. So first one, this is an example of how to use import statements. See here, option strict of module 1 and System.Console.WriteLine hello from. What is this System.Console.WriteLine? That is simply a printf statement. Okay, hello from Visual Basic, just to print this statement, a string hello from Visual Basic. On the if we import the System.Console namespace, that makes the namespace immediately available. So here, and while using import statement, if you are using import statement but option statement should be used first. Okay, first the option statement should come first. That is, C, the option is strict of imports System.Console. you are importing the namespace, that is console, and C, the change here WriteLine hello from Visual Basic. Okay, you can directly write WriteLine hello from Visual Basic because the namespace already you have used. Here you have imported the namespace, isn't it, System.Console, and here you can simply write WriteLine hello from Visual Basic. It will simply print the string. See here, without using import statement, you will have to write System.Console.WriteLine for printing the string, but here you have used import statement, and you have imported System.Console, and no need to write it again while printing the string. Okay, so now declaring the constant. Constant means it's like a variable, but the value will not change. So see the syntax: public, protected, friend, private, constant name, as type it is init expression. Okay, so already you know these you can declare a constant as a public constant or a protected constant or a friend constant or a private constant. Okay, first one, public. Public gives it gives variables public access, which means there are no restrictions on their accessibility, and protected type of constant is it gives variables protected access, which means they are accessed only from within their own class or from a class derived from that class. That means parent and child class. You can use these protected variables only within the class level. Okay, friend, it gives variables friend access, which means they are accessible from within the program that contains their declaration as well as anywhere else in the same assembly in the same program. Okay, and one more is private. It gives variables private access, that means they are accessible only from within their declaration context, including any nested procedures. Okay, where these private variables are declared only in that context, you can use these variables. And init expression, that is initialization of expression, can consist a literal, another constant, a member of enumeration, or any combination of literals constants. Okay, it is the declaration of constant, or you can use expression there. Okay, expression like temperature plus 3, like that. Okay, and one more, it is read only. Read only means the variable only can be read and not written. And name, constant name. Okay, that is name is name of the constant. You can declare as many constant you like in the same declaration statement. Okay, name is the constant name, and type is the data type of the constant. So there are many data types. You can use any of the data types: boolean, byte, char, date, decimal, double, integer, long, object, short, single, or string. See the example: constant const num1 as integer equal to 10. So num1 is initialized to 10. Okay, and const keyword should be there while declaring a constant. Const keyword is a must. Okay, this is a small piece of code to find out the area. So const pi is also always a constant value, that is 3.141, and dim radius, area as single. So radius and area are variables and declared using dim, and pi is a constant declared using the keyword const, and radius is already declared and now it is initialized to 1, and area equal to pi into r square, that is radius into radius, and WriteLine and area equal to str of area. Okay, so what is that area? WriteLine, it will print the area, the calculated area, WriteLine. Simply you can write WriteLine because we have already imported the System.Console namespace, isn't it? Otherwise you will have to write System.Console.WriteLine, but you have already imported the namespace System.Console. Okay. And next one, declaring variables. Same as constant, variable you need to store some data in your program, isn't it? Already you know how to use variables. Why are we using variables? To store data in our program, so we need to declare some variables. The syntax of declaring variables is public, protected, friend, private, static, read only, dim, name, and bound list as type equal to init expression, initialization of expression. So you can dim name is is a keyword. Always they should be there while declaring keyword. Declaring variable. So your variable may be public, may be protected, or friend, or private, or static, or maybe read only. So what is this public? It gives variables public access, which means there are no restrictions on their accessibility. Protected, it gives variables protected access, which means they are accessible only from within their own class or from a class derived from that class. Friend, it gives variable friend access, which means they are accessible from within the program that contains their declaration, as well as anywhere else in the same assembly. And private, it gives variables private access. Okay, init expression, initialization of expression, can consist a literal, another constant, or any combination of literals or constants. That means expression. Okay, like temperature plus 3 is an expression, or a equal to b plus c is an expression. Okay, and here dim name, within bracket we have bound list. It's an optional. What is that bound list? Bound list used to declare arrays. For arrays we have a boundary, isn't it? It gives upper bounds of dimensions of an array variable. Okay, used to bound list is used to declare arrays. It gives upper bound. See the examples of variables. Dim employee id as integer equal to 1. Dim employee name as string, maybe a string hello vb.net, or employee name you can give any other name. Dim employee address as string. See, the first one is dim employee id as integer 1 is has already initialized. The employee id is already initialized, and dim employee name also initialized with the string, that is hello vb.net. And one more, employee address is as declared as a string, but it is not initialized. Okay, see the syntax of declaring variables, that is dim variable name as type equal to expression, isn't it? Dim variable name as type equal to init expression. Okay, and these three are the examples. Okay.